Hello again, everybody. Um, uh, you may have noticed that I have not uploaded a video in a while since deciding to fight against losing my partnership status. I haven't gone more than a day ish without uploading a video, and I think now it's been like three. I don't know. There's a reason for that. On Wednesday, yes, Wednesday, I, for those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I talked about um, having an incident or an event that sent me to the emergency room. That was a very bad experience for me. Mostly because, first of all, it was a life threatening experience because my heart was beating somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 to 200 beats per minute. I was convulsing so violently that I actually damaged muscles in my neck, and I was sweating so much that they had to put me on IV fluids, or I would have been in great danger of being like deadly kind of dehydrated, because again, my heart was beating 200 beats a minute. I was working very, very hard, and that lasted over an hour. I don't know exactly how long it lasted, because due to my dissociation, I can't tell when time is passing. If I don't have a clock or something to look at, I have no idea how much time has passed. So anyway, this past Wednesday, that first event happened in January. This past Wednesday, it happened again. And it happened during one of my therapy sessions. I went to my doctor after the first event, and the ER claimed that it was just a panic attack, which doesn't fit, because if you don't know, panic attacks are actually harmless. That's not to say that they aren't life-changing. That's not to say that they don't affect you in a massive way. But you can't die from a panic attack. That's not how they work. The worst thing generally that can happen to you while having a panic attack is you hyperventilate, which causes you to pass out. And then your body, once you're unconscious, will self-regulate. And the worst thing that can happen is you pass out while standing up, fall, and hit your head on something or something like that. But that's not because of the panic attack. That's because you fell. So So panic attacks, while they are debilitating, are not life-threatening. What I experienced was life-threatening. Again, your heart racing 200 beats per minute is dangerous. It will explode if it stays that high for too long. My heart was beating so fast that the paramedics didn't believe what their instruments were telling them. They have instruments and saw the 200 beats per minute and just threw it out and said that's not possible. It is. They just decided it wasn't. So anyway, I talked to my doctor after the first event, and he said it was a perfect storm type situation. I have panic disorder with agoraphobia, social anxiety disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and PTSD. I also have a psychogenic tremor that generally stays in my right arm, but when I get really anxious, can move to other parts of my body. It's one of the reasons I have a stutter right now, because I can't control the muscles in my chest or in my neck. So I stutter. So he said it was a perfect storm of, you have panic disorder, you had a panic attack, plus you're going through Valium withdrawal because we're trying to take you off of it. I take the generic version called diazepam under the supervision of my psychiatrist and my doctor. So they were trying to take me off it because long-term use of diazepam causes brain damage. So it was a combination of withdrawal symptoms plus a panic attack plus my tremor, all just mixing together in one really big bad event. And it was a freak accident. Well, on Wednesday it happened again. And it happened while I was in therapy with my therapist. And I was lucky that it didn't last anywhere near as long. From what I can tell from what my therapist tells me, it only lasted about 15 to 20 minutes instead of over an hour. But the convulsions were so bad that I slammed my head against a wall, the back of my head. And at the time I didn't think anything of it. But now I'm having issues with headaches, and there's a spot on my head that is incredibly sore. So apparently I hit my head harder than I thought. It happened, and I spent the rest of my therapy session just recovering from it because it's an incredibly difficult thing to go through. Again, my heart races far beyond what should happen for a panic attack, and the convulsions, again, are bad enough that if there are solid objects around me, like in my therapist's office, she has a coffee table type thing. It's actually really a big, heavy table. And, I was sitting on a couch that was up against a wall. Because there was hard things around me, I smacked my head on the wall. I hit my legs on her desk, though I don't think I did any damage to my legs. I think I might have done more damage to the desk than I did my legs. And I again pulled muscles in my neck. So I did physical damage to myself. Not intentionally, just as a result of these convulsions. So I called my doctor up, because if it was a freak accident, the fact that it's happened twice in a month doesn't mean it's a freak accident. It means there's something else wrong. So I got to see my doctor rather quickly the same day, and he basically said he doesn't know what's going on, but that I needed to go to a neurologist because something else is going on, and we have to rule out something neurologically wrong. So I called up the neurologist I was referred to. I got in the very next day, which doesn't happen. So I thought I was very, very lucky. I went in to see the neurologist. He refused to examine me. Anything. Something that I've seen a neurologist before multiple times. Something that has happened every time I've seen a neurologist is they do some very basic tests when you have a tremor that involve testing to see if you have any muscle weakness or any inequality between your muscles. That doesn't make sense, because that could point to Parkinson's or Huntington's disease or Lou Gehrig's disease or quite a few other diseases that can cause tremors that are life-threatening and dangerous. So every other time I've seen a neurologist or a nurse practitioner for a neurologist, the first thing they do is like, okay, I'd like you to try and push my hand up. What they do is they take my arm and they'd hold on top of it and they'd ask me to lift it. And they're basically just checking to see what if I still have strength in my arms of a specific muscle group that's used to raise your arm. Because that will indicate if you have problems with that, it could mean that you have something like Parkinson's. I don't know the exact disease. There's a couple other things they do. They have you squeeze their fingers. They'll do this, and they go, just squeeze my fingers. And they have you do it with both hands at the same time, because they are testing to see if both your arms are working, the muscles are working in your arms the same way. These are all standard tests, very, very simple, very, very easy, very, very common tests that happen before the doctor did anything, the neurologist did anything other than introduce themselves. I'd ask them, like, hi, my name is Dr. So-and-so. I'd like you to do this. I'd like you to do this. They'll check your eyes and your pupils for other things, These are really simple, easy tests that tell them a lot. The neurologist I went to see refused to examine me whatsoever. I told him I was referred by my doctor. I told him what was going on, that they were claiming it was a panic attack, and this doesn't fit a panic attack. And his response is, well, what do you want me to tell you? Well, I was hoping you could do something, maybe EEG or PET scan, something to rule out neurological problems. He said, it's not neurological. You're having panic attacks. You need to fix that. I was stuttering so bad because I was in public and my agoraphobia was acting up that I couldn't say many words. So this isn't an exact transcript of what went down. But I asked him, how do you know that? He's like, well, you've been seen extensively by doctors. I said, yeah, and all those doctors have told me they can't tell me what's going on. You magically can? By looking at my file once? Yes. You have a panic disorder. You're having panic attacks. I said, these aren't panic attacks. I've had panic attacks for over a decade. This is new. This is different. No, it's just panic attacks with your tremor. That's all it is. You need to take, I would say you need to take diazepam. I said, I'm taking diazepam. So, well, that would be my recommendation. I said, I can't. It doesn't work. Well, what do you want me to tell you? You know I'm already on diazepam, right? Yeah, so? You know that long-term use causes permanent brain damage. Yeah, so? So your recommendation is for me to continue using a drug that doesn't help, that causes brain damage. Well, it looks like your doctors are going a non-medical route to deal with this. I mean, normally I would suggest other things as well, but you seem opposed to that. I said, I'm not opposed. Other drugs will kill me. We have already seen that. I'm highly susceptible to serotonin syndrome. I saw. So what do you want me to tell you? And I was blown away by the absolute disregard for my health by a medical professional. Again, he did nothing but look at my file and then tell me this is your fault. You need to fix it. And then he walked out. I kept trying to process what he was saying. I was having a hard time because I could not have, in my wildest dreams, planned on that interaction happening to prepare myself. So I'm sitting there dumbfounded. He walks out. Doesn't say goodbye. Doesn't say, have a nice day. Do you have any other questions? Nothing. He just walks out of the room. He never examined me, never did anything. He just decided, oh, this is what it is, based on looking at my file once. He also told me it has nothing to do with diazepam withdrawal. I'm not experiencing diazepam withdrawal. When I asked him, well, I have a psychiatrist and a general practitioner that both say I'm suffering from diazepam withdrawal. So it's 2v1, and the psychiatrist actually, that's her specialty. Again, I didn't say all of this. I think I just said the first part. I have multiple doctors that say this. So you're right, they're wrong? Yep. Anything you're basing that on? Well, it's obvious. Okay. You want to try making it a little clearer for someone it might not be as obvious to? Like the 4 other doctors I've talked to about this that seem to disagree with you? So anyway, I'm not okay. I am terrified of having another event and doing serious damage to myself. I'm not 100% sure that the last 2 times I haven't done serious damage to myself. I still have amnesia from before the first event of about a week and a half. It just doesn't exist in my memory. I can't access those memories, despite the fact that I know they're there. So, yeah, this is a bad time for me to do this, but I can't continue making videos for at least a little while. Because again, I'm not okay, and I need to focus on getting better. Which also means my partnership status is gone. I was making headway when I was putting out videos every day. Without new videos, it's just not going to happen. I'm going to lose my partnership status. And that's it. I can't do anything about that. But I wanted to explain what was going on to you guys and why there won't be any videos for a while. I have to at least get to a place where I'm healthy enough to do this. And unfortunately, it comes at a really bad time. So, thank you to everyone who's been commenting, who's been liking and sharing and subscribing and trying to help me keep my partner status. It really meant the world to me. This past couple weeks has been amazing. It's been what I've always wanted in my channel, to be able to have interactions with people in chat, to have people excited enough about my content to suggest things that they wanted to see. Even upset a person or two. But I have to take a little bit of time away and try and get better. And I don't know how long that's going to be. It could be a couple of days more. It could be a couple of weeks. It could be a couple of months. I don't know. Again, my doctor can't figure out what's wrong with me. Nobody can. Everyone I've talked to, other than that jackass of a neurologist, can't explain what's going on or why I can't take medication that helps millions of other people. I am atypical. So, anyway, that's going to be all for me for a little while. I'll try and hang out on the Team Human Facebook page and the Thumpers Facebook page as much as I can. And hang out in Geek and Sundry chat and Thumper Hyper RPGs chat when I can, and Amy Dallins and Eric Ishii's channels. But as far as being on camera, it's going to be a little bit. I haven't decided what's happening with my D&D shows yet, but more likely than not, I will be taking a break from them as I attempt to heal as well. I have to talk to my players and see their thoughts on the matter. Anyway, that's all. And I'll see you guys later sometime. All right. Bye bye.